I can tell you one thing, a lot of the questions that I get, either on social media or real person, is Rakan, what is the code? And how have you been able to crack the code? So in this video, let's crack the code together. You see, I believe hanging with a lot of millionaires, they tend to leave some clues. You hear something from here, you hear a little bit from here, you hear a little bit from there. And you start adding, well, this plus this plus this. And you start figuring out certain things that you must have and you must crack to get to that millionaire code status. So I got some habits for you that will absolutely be a game changer. Now, in my opinion, this will be a very important video for a lot of people, especially if you have a team. So share this video with your team so they can really have a game plan, a roadmap for that $1 million. Now let's cut through the BS. Here's number one. You see, every millionaire that I know, they have an unapologetic self-confidence. It is crazy how many people I've met that they want to make money, they want to be the it factor, they want to be that person, but they lack so much self-confidence. They don't believe in them. You see, I tell you guys a story. I remember when I was with a millionaire friend of mine. He doesn't do what I do, he's doing something else. And he was going through some sort of crisis. And in my head, I'm just thinking, what if I was going through the same crisis? Will I be able to deal in the exact same way, right, as they were dealing with? And I'm just looking at him and I'm seeing how he's dealing with it. I noticed that he was unapologetic of how confident he is. He's like, we're gonna do this, and we're gonna do this, and we're gonna do this. I'm like, aren't you afraid? And this is where I know some people have the next level of self-confidence. There's self-confidence, you can be confident and you can be like whatever, but there's just different levels of self-confidence, and that is built through patterns and patterns and patterns of proving yourself right over and over and over. And this is why I tell people, man, when you're setting these big goals, don't set them too big, because you will train your mind to be a failure, and your self-confidence in you will be much lower. My opinion, set a lot of small goals and they will be incremental, and hit every single one of them. So you have such a big self-confidence that you can really achieve anything. And that takes us to number two. These people have such a high stress tolerance. I kid you guys not. I remember I was going through a time in my life where things weren't going the way I planned it to be, right? This was happening. And every year I noticed that my stress tolerance is higher and higher and higher. See, a lot of people, they have these side effects when they're stressed. They don't talk to nobody. They just want to be left alone. They can't have like a break where they walk into the office, or they walk into, with your teams, and they're just upset. And by the way, your team can tell when you're upset. We're the best people that I've seen really achieve a high level of success. They can be stressed out of their mind, but nobody would ever know. And that's called high stress tolerance. Because the reality is, no matter where you're heading in life, you must believe that there will be some blocks. There will be some stress that's happening. There will be certain things that will happen. But you must believe that it's just part of the process. And you must submit that, hey, whatever happens to me, it's fine. I have enough self-confidence, which is the first one, to really pursue my goals. And this is why I love listening to other success stories. I love listening to podcasts and this and that. And typically when I watch these podcasts and I'm just reading the comments, and everybody is always telling people, oh, they're lucky, or they're this, or they're that, or they did this and they did this, and they always want to tell people how they've achieved success, because they look at these people like, well, they've been able to go through a lot of stress and come out of it, but I've been through small stress and I didn't come out of it. So they project that hate towards them, but that's why they're not where they need to be, and these other people are. And let's talk about number three. Probably one of the most things that I teach, and really women, it's your charisma and your ability to have high level of persuasion. I believe that if you know how to persuade people to your vision, to your opportunity, to your words, your world, you'll be more likable. People will just buy into you. You're able to run bigger teams, and you got to understand that everybody has a good product, and everybody has this, and everybody has that. Why would they choose you? It's because of your charisma. It's because of your knowledge. It's because of you're able to persuade people that 1, 2, 3. Here's where I'm heading. Here's what I'm gonna do. Here's the plan. It's not done yet, but here's what's gonna happen. You see, if you look at all these, these peak people that back in history, how did they lead the armies? They were tough and they had big charisma, and that's why armies led them. That's why men were willing to die for them, because they understood how to lead with charisma, and they had to lead and persuade the army, even if they're tired, even if they're not eating, even persuade them to have victory over the land. Let's talk about number 4. This is gonna be a little interesting to say, but I hear all these people go on social media and be like, well, follow your passion. It's so beautiful when you follow your passion. It's so beautiful when you run after your dreams. And I'm looking at them like, come on, really? Passion? You see, majority of the time, passion doesn't make money. And by default, you'll start running in circles because you're not making money, and you'll be stuck at a place that you don't ever want. I know I have some passions outside of what I do that possibly will never make me money. But you know what? When I do make money, I'm able to focus a little bit more on my passion. See, one of my passions is riding horses. I love riding horses, but guess what? I don't know if I was gonna be the next, I don't even know, a champion in horse riding, but I don't know if I was gonna be the next champion and make millions of dollars. That wasn't it. Business for me was a gateway, was an entry point to buy horses and buy this and buy that and have some sort of thing that I can always fall back on. And that's the key. So to me, is that shoot for mastery, not for passion. And when I talk about mastery, I'm talking about whatever you're doing in business. Master it. Today I was at a library and I'm just seeing what the books that people are buying. People are buying just nonsense books, all these self-help books, and I'm with it. I love it. But if you're in business, don't you think you should read about sales? Don't you think you should read about marketing? Don't you think you should learn social media? That's the whole key of business. I gotta market my product. From marketing my product, I gotta sell my product. That will help you 10 times more than how to unlock the chakras in your brain. I don't know what people read nowadays, but I'm just saying you're probably gonna need more practical things in your business. You wanna be the top 1%? Here's a tip for you. Read 5 books, just 5 books, right? In the exact same part that you want. You wanna be a master in HR? Read 5 books about HR. You wanna be master in sales? Read 5 books about sales. You wanna be master in marketing? Read 5 books on marketing. You wanna be great with strategy? Read 5 books with strategies. That's how you really grow. That's how you're committed to mastery. Let's talk about number 5. And this is probably something that will get a lot of controversy. Ego. Do not fall into the trap of people telling you have ego. Now look, there's 2 sides of the story, right? And in my belief, you'll never be successful if you don't have ego. But you will always fall if you have too much ego. So you must learn how to balance and have that healthy ego, because I don't know anybody, I personally do not know anybody that's really ultra successful for a long period of time. Because listen, you can have no ego and win for a short period of time. I'm talking for a long period of time with no ego. You must have ego. You must act and believe that you have something that other people don't. How would you be mega successful if you're just so nonchalant with your business and nonchalant with your product and your service? You must have ego, and you must cultivate it, and you must grow it. Now, this can be shown as arrogance to some people. Look, it's okay. It's okay, in my belief, to be a little bit arrogant. It's okay. But you must, over time, learn how to have the fine line of just being confident in what you have rather than being arrogant to what you have. And let's talk about this. So here's a trait that I learned so late in business. Anticipation. You see, anticipation in business is key. I see a lot of people that, when they start their businesses, things are going great. They believe that it's gonna go great forever. And my philosophy is that, look, there are some lessons on the way that you must learn. And when the lessons come, you must be able to approach them with a problem-solving mindset rather than, oh my God, it's a problem mindset. Because I remember when COVID came around, we've had this massive success and we just crushed everybody. We were having it. But I kept telling the people that I work with, don't get used to this. This is not normal. This is hyper. This is hyper. This is hyper. And no matter what we do, this will not be our usual. This will not be what is usual to us. And when you understand that, when they understood that, some of them did, some of them didn't, and the people that didn't really got really hurt, and people that did understood that they had to come with any issue with a problem solving. Here's the last one. It is easy to be successful, but it's hard to succeed. sustain yourself. I've always believed early on that I just want to be successful. I just want to be successful. I just want to be successful. But you know what started happening? I became successful. And now my biggest challenge is how can I stay successful? And I'm not talking success for 2, 3, 4 years. How can I stay successful for another 10 years, for another 20 years, for another 30? For how long I can be successful, I need to focus on that. Because guess what? Once you reach to a point where you are at the top, there's some people that are going to be running for you. And once you understand that the ability for you to continue to be successful is you learning more, you developing more, you growing more, and you always having that fire into you, it's going to be key. Because I know some people that get to a place and they become complacent and they become, well, I became successful. And then they go back to living a really normal life. They're making okay money, but they're not pushing themselves to. So with that being said, I hope we cracked the code together. I hope you took some notes. My biggest tip for anybody that watches any videos, take notes. Because if you just heard it, you won't remember it in 24 hours. If you take notes, at least you will be able to get back at it. And whenever you're taking notes, have a line where you're having brand new ideas and things that you can start. Don't forget to share, subscribe, and drop a comment, and we'll see you guys in other videos.